before we start, I cannot turn off the message bubbles. How we can do that? Is it possible?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, then just a second. I will share my screen now. So can you see it now? My screen?
No,
Yet.
not yet.
Just a second. So just a second. What about now?
Yeah, I see. Bingo.
Presentation also works, right?
Yeah.
HTML and CSS basics. Okay. So today our topic will be about the HTML and the CSS basics. Firstly, I will introduce myself. I'm from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, if you heard about this country ever, and I have 3+ years in front-end development. Actually, I have 1 year in teaching and mentoring in Uzbekistan Youth Union's web courses, and also organization called the Digital Generation Uzbekistan. And I'm first-time mentor in Rolling Scope School, and I have been working in EPAM for more than 2 months. So if we start about the lecture, actually, well, as you know, our course will include more about the front end, and here you can see the logos of the main web technologies as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript one by one. We will continue about these topics. Firstly, we will talk about the what's HTML. So if you heard, if you know what's the website, I think all of you know. And if we count, how to say, our web page as an building construction, for example, your house, it will be the carcass for our house without any kind of bricks or the paintings, wallpapers, only the empty construction. The next thing that I should mention here is that HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It was created in 1989. If you know about Tim Berners-Lee, the creator of the World Wide Web, it was developed by his co-researchers in order to transfer some documents all over the internet. And in simple words, we can say that it's a native language for your browsers to know the construction of your website. And all of you know that is here we have some kind of browsers like Google Chrome, Safari, or Mozilla Firefox. All of them use the HTML as the main language to construct your website. So HTML can contain the empty text for your content, and also links for your media content like audios and video files, and all of them are interconnected. And for example, if you know the newspaper, what's a newspaper, and in newspaper we can see the main title, subtitles, and some information about the news in the first page, and the page continues like this with some raw text. HTML we can compare to that kind of newspaper, but without any kind of styles. So the next thing is, as I said, it's mainly about the structure and the content, and you can describe your web page content as a typographic hierarchy, and also you can describe your text and emphasize some kind of information using some special text in that HTML language. HTML is not the programming language. It's only about the markup and how your page is structured. So without any kind of styles, as you can see here we can describe our HTML website as a set of some kind of content and the text. So before we go deep into the HTML, I can show you I will use the more practical knowledge about the HTML. And if you have some text editor in your computer, in Windows, if you use Notepad, if you have more knowledge about the web programming, you will have the WebStorm or the Visual Studio Code like this. And with the help of the Visual Studio Code, we can open the file index.html. So here's
for HTML and CSS specifically, you can also use Notepad.
Yes, of course. So we opened the file index.html, and here I do some magic. And for example, I will write my name, and this name will appear in my browser now. Open in live server. Right here, it appeared. Like this, we can describe the structure of our website one by one using the only HTML language. So the next thing is about just a second. It stopped working, I think. Next thing is about the CSS. CSS stands for the cascading style sheets. With the help of the CSS, you can say that if we describe the whole website as a building construction, it will work as a, how to say, interior work, and the repairings like painting your walls and gluing some kind of wallpapers on that. We will make our website empty structure as a new different kind of website using the CSS, and it stands for, as I said, cascading style sheets, and also it describes how the special elements, some kind of text or the content will appear on our screen, like their position, color, and the boldness, and the other things. So next thing, we as I have said, that with the help of the cascading style sheets, you can do whatever you want with it, how in order to make your website very beautiful. And you can use CSS for some kind of animations, like changing the background color or changing the button color if you come to some kind of buttons with a hovering effect like this. We had an empty structure in the beginning, and with the help of the CSS, we can turn our empty structure into this kind of content that we used to know in many websites. I think there is no websites without the CSS, but if you have trouble with the internet, for example, our HTML structure will load first, and the next thing will load the CSS. And if you have a poor internet, CSS will not load, and you will have some kind of this structure in your site. So Next thing is the JavaScript. JavaScript is the programming language, as you know. I think you know, of course. It was developed in 1995. If you ever heard about the browser called the Netscape Navigator that was acquired by another companies, and now we don't have that. It was developed by that company, and mainly it's described as the front-end language to make our web page interactive. So we can describe it as a scripting language. In first place, it will work for your front-end web page view, as I said, to make it interactive. And then after some time, in 2009, with the help of the one developer called the Ryan Dahl, there was created this language framework called the Node.js, and with the help of that, now we can use JavaScript for backend development and the Internet of Things, and also even for machine learning. So we will come back to our house building, and JavaScript, as I said, will make it interactive. For example, you will not have the fully comfort house without some kind of electricity or the how to say water pipes. It will JavaScript will make it to use our website more comfortable. So if we go to the anatomy of our website, it contains, as I said, three main technologies: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. With the help of these three technologies, you will describe how our web page will work, and with the help of the web browser and how it's displayed. Our website contains only three technologies. I'm not saying about the web servers. I'm not saying about the backend. Now we only have a static websites with three technologies. So next thing is the key terms about the website structuring. And first thing we should describe here is the element. Element, as I mentioned here before. For example, I have wrote my name in some kind of tag. This is a one element described as a element at all, or you can call it as blocks or elements. And the text is the, so as I said, HTML is a language. We will describe with the help of the text what kind of information will appear on our browser, and also how they appear defaultly on your browser. For example, if you write your name in special text, for example, H1, I mean heading 1, it will appear more bigger on Chrome, but in small size in, for example, Mozilla Firefox. It's called the default styles of the HTML text. So the main thing here is the text. So texts are used. Texts are used, as I have wrote here, with some kind of bigger or less than symbols in your keyboard, and between two symbols there are the special mark for tag name, and there are a lot of text in the HTML, and for example, it's described here the anchor tag. We can write it by only writing the a letter, and the next thing. Next thing here. Sorry. What did you say?
Guys, please mute your microphone.
Okay. So anchor, I was saying about the anchor text, and it's used, for example, the some special links. With the help of this link, you can go from one web page to another web page, and if we break down our HTML tag, it's, as I said, firstly, it contains two tags, for example, a tag, its opening tag, and its closing tag, and between the two tags there is the content, computer hub. So if you click on that computer hub, the our website web browser will go to another web page, and there's also some special things in our text like attributes. Attributes will help us to give us some more information about our structure and what action they can do. So for example, as I said, here is our text editor. I will write the a tag, and I will write some go to Google content, and then it will appear on my screen now. Go to Google. You can click on that, and if I click on that, nothing will work because I didn't give it the address. If we wrote the extra information about the address in href attribute, for example, https google.com, and if we click on that, go to Google, we will go to the Google's main page, and our anchor tag will work like this. So the next thing, as I said, there are text, and the next thing is we should describe here is that there are two kinds of texts, like paired and unpaired. As I have said, you can write your content between two tags, opening and closing tag. There are paired text and unpaired text. You write your content in between paired text, but in unpaired text, they do not have their content, but they can do some kind of action in order to your website work. So we should describe here the next thing, attributes. We have some kind of information there. As I have said, it will add some extra information for our text now. It appears they will appear in your text opening tag between the less than or greater than symbols. For example, action and the href. They are described defaultly by your browser and the web HTML itself. And then they will have the default values in order to work. You cannot create some kind of text yourself, and also you cannot create some kind of values for them. That all of them are described in your web browser's documentation and in its logic. So next thing, for example, with the help of this text and their attributes, you can work some kind of text differently than it was defaultly. For example, if we have form tag, and in form tag, you all know that the Google Forms or some kind of Google spreadsheets, they all have their forms, and with the help of some form tag, you can create your form for websites. For example, here is I can write my content and its value to input box. So with the help of the placeholder attribute, I can write the default hint for my input box. For example, write your name here. So it's appeared, if you can see, I made it bigger. Write your name here. It's not the value, it's only the hint. So you wrote that. And also there is the type attribute for our input box. Text. For as you can see, what I write here appears immediately on the screen. But if we change our text type into the password, for example, you all log into some kind of social networks or the website, it's web portals, you have a field called the password. When you write, it's hidden, it's value hidden, in order to no one will understand what you are writing. With the help of this attributes, you can make the text work differently. So, for example, next example will also be about the input elements. You all have information about what kind of input box do we have. For example, for text, it appears only a text. For password, as you have seen, there is only some small dots in order to that you cannot know what's going on in the field, and so on. So and the next information about attributes, that you can give some kind of width and the height for your elements on the web, and also it does not matter in what order you write your attributes in your opening tag. For example, if we change the order type with the placeholder, nothing will change in my structure. In my web browser, it works as I worked before. And also you can write, for example, width 300 pixels and the height 100 pixels. So it didn't work because I will, how to say, describe it later why it appeared like this. For another elements, you can change its width and height with the help of these attributes. So the next thing is the data attributes. As I have mentioned before, that you cannot create the attributes yourself, and you cannot give the values that are in your mind. But there is one exception in our data attributes. All the data attributes starts with the data keyword, and as you can see in the example here, is the first thing is the data, and the next thing is the price. Firstly, in data keywords, we should use the data keyword, and the other words as you wish, and the values also described as you wish, because it does not do anything without the JavaScript language or the CSS itself. You can only use this data attributes in your CSS files or the JavaScript files to make some action. It's how to say, described as extra information for your text. So next thing is about document structure. So as you have seen, I have done some magic on my text editor. I wrote the exclamation mark and pressed tab, and the first structure appeared for myself here. It's a comfortability of this Visual Studio Code, but in your notepad you can write your HTML file like this. First thing that you should mention here is the doc exclamation mark doc type HTML tag. It does nothing for view. We cannot see this tag in our web browser. If we save it and go to our web page, nothing will appear. But it's used for the browsers to understand in what language it was wrote. Also, you can write the HTML version for that tag. And the next thing here we should mention is the head tag, head, and the body. All of them are, how to say, HTML. The head and the body tag are covered with the help of the HTML tag, and in head tag you will give extra information about your web page. It will not appear on your browser, but in body tag you everything you wrote in body tag will appear in your structure in your web browser. So we will delete all of them, and I will, how to say, describe that appear on our Visual Studio Code. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I have some trouble with my internet, I think. We wrote a HTML tag, and as you are seeing that it's a parent tag because it's a here is the opening tag and the closing tag, and also head tags and the body. So in head tag, as I mentioned, there is all the information about your web page. It will not appear on your browsers, but there all of the things that appear in head tag are used for browsers to know extra information about your web page. For example, here's the title tag, and it's written as the document. If you are seeing just a second, if you are seeing my web browser, here is written as the document. If we change the content of the title tag, for example, RS School Lesson 2, it will appear on the tab name of our browser. All of the things you write in title will appear on that tab name, and you can make it dynamic later by JavaScript, using JavaScript. Next, also here's the meta text. They are not paired text. With the help of the meta text, you can give extra information for the search engines, and what kind of content do you have, and what kind of information will appear in Google's indexation when they are putting some kind of websites in order when you are searching some kind of information on Google or Yandex search engines. So if we know about the head text, next thing is the body. We all have about, if you say about our organism, we all have head and the body. From the name of the tag, we know that everything we wrote here will appear on our browser. For example, I have wrote my name, Moin Inoyatov, and we will make it repeat. Here's the 6 text, the 6 content about my name. With the help of another HTML text from H1 to H6. All the things have the same content, but it appears like from the biggest one to the smallest one. As you know, as you have seen, H1 stands for the biggest heading, and the H6 stands for the smallest heading. So the next thing that I should mention here is I have mentioned about the doc type, and you can add extra information for your browser here. Here's I will share later with you the presentation of this lesson, and you will know more information about the text here. And the next thing is applying the CSS, applying the styles for our web page. So there are three ways of styling our elements in our web page. Firstly, is the inline styling. As I said before, there are attributes in our text, and also there is a style attribute for your HTML tag. In that attribute value, you can describe how your HTML element appeared on your browser. So we will change the name of the first heading to, for example, we will write the style attribute, and here is some special keyword for changing the color of the content. Color, I will write in English, color red, and it changed to red color. In next element, we will change the color, for example, blue. It appears as a blue. So with the help of the style attribute, you can write inline styles, but it's not recommended in brief projects. I will describe it later why. And the next method is the global styles. In your HTML documents head section, you can open also style tag. There is a special tag for styles, style tag, and with the help of the CSS, I mean the cascading style sheet syntax, you can change all of the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6 elements color, not color, font size, for example, 14 pixels. So all of our elements become in one size because we have described their size in our CSS file. It cleared the browser's default styles for special HTML text. Now all of them have the same size, but what we wrote in our style attribute are also left in our styles. Can you turn off your microphone? Thank you. It's as I have said, it's a second method, and and the third method is opening the external CSS file. With the help of our text editor, we will open for example, main.css file. So in external from our HTML, we will take all the styles and copy them here in external file, and I will delete the another style. So if you focus on the view, it's not described. Why? Because you didn't have connect the external CSS to your HTML. We will do it with the help of the link key tag. It's a unpaired tag. There is information about what kind of thing we are connecting. It's a style sheet, it's a CSS, and the next thing is the link to our CSS file. We will, from our structure, we can write it like this, dot, slash, and the main.css. Now, as you can see, that our styles are applied to our document, and for example, we can make the H1 color as the aqua marine. So it's now painted to different color and like this. As I have that I will repeat one more time, 3 types of describing the styles of our text: inline and the global and the external with the help of the external CSS file. So, and the next thing is about JavaScript applying. As I have said, that JavaScript is a programming language. We cannot see the immediate results of the JavaScript here now because we don't know JavaScript, but with the help of some developers tools, I will make it slowly. With the help of the inspect button, we go to console of our website and write some script in our HTML document. With the help of the script tag, you can write your JavaScript code here. For example, console.log. If you know all of the first programs in programs live, how to say, they write the hello world program. It's very easy in JavaScript. So in our console, there is some text, hello world, console log. As in CSS, we can describe our script, JavaScript, in different places. Firstly, in our HTML file, we do. It doesn't matter where you write your script tag. It appears the hello world and also hello world 2. First one is in the beginning of body tag. The next one is in the end of the body tag, and also we can write also here hello from head tag. So hello from head tag, hello world 2. As you see, they are appearing in the order that we wrote, because our web browser uses the top-down approach and starts reading the information from the top lines till the bottom line, and it will execute. It will show the information described, but on the top firstly, and on the bottom in the end of our console. So it was the using the JavaScript in the HTML document. Now we can open the extra information, extra file, main.js. So as you see, script texts are paired, but we can make like this. In order to connect our external script file, we can use this script tag without any content. Here I wrote some code, but here I will not write any code, and will give the link to my external JavaScript file with the help of the source src attribute. ./main.js. Before we have used link for connecting our CSS file, but with the scripts, there is a special tag script. You cannot connect your JavaScript file with the help of the link tag. I should mention that. So here we can write some script. Hello from external file. So it appeared in our console and it's also working. There's some slides about it that you can read later. So we should go to the next things. Text structure we have seen, attributes, document structure, CSS applying, JavaScript applying. I'm using my colleagues' slides also in my in this lesson. And the next thing we should describe here is the classification of the web text, HTML text. So we have already know what's the H1 and H1 text and what they do. They are used for headings and we have 6 main heading tags like H1 till H6, and the next things here is the list. For example, when you want to write some kind of, I will make it here. When you want to write some kind of list in our HTML structure, you can write the UL tag. UL stands for unordered list, and it will have the li tags between them. Li stands for list item, unordered list and the list item. If we write, for example, first
Sorry for interruption, but your microphone is off. Lecture.
It's mute.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. From which point do you have problem with the microphone?
Like 2 slides before.
2 slides before.
From ordered list.
Ordered list. Okay, thank you for your information. I'm very glad to see that. So, unordered list. There's a bullet points. With the help of the another tag, OL, ordered list, it will appear in some order. For example, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. With by changing one tag, we made it to have some kind of numbers and the ciphers in our web browser. So also if you use some kind of Google Microsoft Excel or the Google spreadsheet, they all have tables, and by tables tag you can create the tables, and I have described the form tag before, and another thing is the image tag. I will also show you what image tag do and how they work. For example, if we download some kind of tag image from Google, and we can connect this image to our website with the help of the image tag. So we edit it. We will put it on our folder. Here's the Toyota Supra, and by writing the link to the image tag, image tags src attribute, we will have the image of our car in our web page. So images and links. I have showed you images that with the help of the tag we went to the Google's page, and there are many more tags here. And the we talked about the headings. We talked about the lists, tables. So more information about the tables, and all of the table informations are covered with the help of the table tag, and there are also the, if you are seeing the table head, t-head tag, they will describe the first row of our table with the bold content, and there are, as you know, there are the columns and also the rows for that. Forms. With the help of the forms, you can submit some kind of information to the web, to the server, and you can, for example, create yourself a survey website. Firstly, attributes, form elements. So we can talk about the form elements here. So form elements. I will clear all the scripts from my HTML document, and the next thing will be form. So input, here's the form tag, here's the input tag. Form is the paired, input is unpaired tag. Input also. I will write 5 inputs here. All of they appear in this order. For some purpose, I should delete the image tag. So here's our 5 input elements, but with the help of our type, we can change it to another thing. Input type radio, for example. We can click on that, and it will be checked. And here also the checkbox type. Check. We can write some kind of information here. And the number. As you can see, I cannot write some kind of letters here, but only a. But I can write only number, because in type attribute I wrote the number. And the next thing is the, for example, I can show you how to say color. It's a browser's default color window. You can choose some kind of color with RGB values, and also you can change it. Hexadecimal value of the color. So with the help of the attributes, you can do anything with the form inputs. Also in form, we have another text like text area. It's, how to say, more about the it didn't appear. Rows, calls, if I'm not mistaken. Just a second. Form, text area. I will write the height and the width. Oh my god. Okay. Text area. Display block.
There was written, sorry for interruption, text. There was one additional error in tag name.
Sorry. Thank you. So here's the text area tag. With the help of that, we can write more and more text in our web page, but in input tag, they are used for one line information, but the text area for multi-line information. They are used for that purpose. And there also another for form text. For example, it will be the last element for the form elements. Select and option. First, second, sort. You can see the select box here. First, second, sort here. You can select some kind of predefined values here and give this information to the web server. So insert. We already talked about the inserting images. So we will come back to the images. Image. I have wrote the information here. It has appeared on my web page, but if we, for example, miss one letter, as I have done in text area, it will not show. But with the help of the alternative information attribute, you can write some kind of information when your image will not load. For example, here should be Toyota Supra. So if your information does not load, if your image does not load, it will show the alternative text. Here should be some Toyota Supra image, but when it loads, it will go away, and you can alternate text on your web page. Also, we have the width property for our image, 100 pixels height and 100 pixels width for our image. As you see, it become in square shape, and so, you can see that something is wrong with its, how to say, resolution. And also, it's enough for the image text. So the next thing, we will go back to the anchor tag, writing some links to another websites. As I have described before, here's our anchor tag. Go to Google. We will make it 3. Go to Amazon. Go to Yandex. So in href attribute, we can write the address for google.com, https amazon.com, and the last thing would be the yandex.com. So if we click to the Yandex, we will go to the Yandex page. But yeah, if you know, there's some kind of sites, when you click on some kind of links, it will go to the another web page. For example, in some kind of how to say, not secured websites, when you click on the link, download link, or the another link, it will go another website on the different tabs, like the spam. We can make that kind of action, but by the target attribute, target. We will give it value blank. It will open our Google page. If we click to the Google, now it has opened the Google website on the new tab. But if we click to the go to Amazon, it will open it on this tab. With the help of the target attribute, we make this action. So a bit about the semantic. No. So we talked about forms, tables, anchor text, and the next thing would be some text. There are a lot of text for working with the raw text. For example, lorem. If we write some kind of text between the P, I mean the paragraph tag, it will page and to make emphasize a word, we use the, for example, B tag. But the ipsum will become the bolder one.
Excuse me.
Sorry?
Can you repeat about
There's
lorem?
problem of your voice, I think.
Lorem ipsum. It with my voice. What kind of problem?
Perhaps it's better to switch off your camera.
Okay. I have switched it off. Okay. Can you hear me properly?
Now,
Yes.
now we
Yes,
can.
now.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. So we made it bold, and the next thing is the I. It means the italic. It will become italic word in our text. We can use we can change the style of the some words with the help of the CSS, but with the help of the HTML text, it's more easy, and also it helps for us for accessibility purpose and accessibility purpose. For example, if you have voice help on your web browser for some kind of blind people, when they are hearing the information of your web page, our voice assistant will read the lorem in ordinary voice, but the ipsum, it will emphasize the ipsum with a different voice, for example. Guys, can you turn off your microphone, please? So, also there are another text code like code, strong, em, and the block code. When you're writing some piece of code on your web page, you can use the code tag if you want to emphasize your some kind of word or the text. You can use the strong. It will work as the B bold tag, but later you can play around with some kind of text described here or yourself. I will not pause here. Here is the B and the I text as I have described, and also here is the sub and sub. If you guys know about the physics and the mathematics, there are some kind of, for example, formulas. For example, the most popular formula of the Albert Einstein about the theory of relativity, and it appeared EMC. It should be square, but we cannot describe the square here. But here we can use some special kind of text here in order to our formula appear properly. Firstly, I will change the style of the H1 text to red. The next thing, we can write subtext and write 2 here. It will appear like the proper formula in our web page. And the next thing, for example, here it will make the content of the sub tag to go up, but with the help of the sub with a B, go down. For example, here is the x plus no. For example, 2
H2O.
It's a for example, yes, of course. With the help of the sub, we can write here 1. It's a square equation, and the next thing will be the another sub. We can write it here, and it will become like the square equation. In short, it can help you with writing some kind of formulas, chemical formulas, physical or mathematics formulas. With the help of the sub and the sub, you can do that. So the next thing is the HTML5 text. As I have described before, for example, we will open the epam.com. epam.com. Here is epam.com's website. In HTML5, we can describe all of the information of our website with the help of the different tags. For example, the first thing in navigation, we can use the header tag and the navigation tags, and all of the links will be covered by the ordered or the unordered lists. Here, you can use the audio, video, or the image tag, and here, for example, it's a H1 tag. By doing this kind of repeating actions and the writing text, we can make this kind of websites. So header, navigation, main, footer, section, aside. For example, we will write the HTML5. No. I think I have information here. No, we can write it by ourselves. For example, there are special texts for HTML5 layout. We can use header, we can use aside, and we can use the article. And in header, we can also write the nav text. But all of the content that are
I think you're still
Your
lagging.
microphone is muted.
There's problem of connection, I think.
I guess yes. Let's wait a couple of minutes.
Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. there's a problem with the electricity now. We live like this. So here we can write the navigation. Here we can write the information that should appear inside article. Some article here. If we go to our website, it will appear. It will not appear in some kind of different styles or the different order, but with the help of the HTML5 layout text, we can describe our websites. We can make our website's code more readable. For example, you can write all of the information with the help of the divs. Div text. It will look like the same with the special text, but with the help of the special text, you can make it more readable, as I have said before, and also it will make your website more, how to say, firstly readable, and the next thing as it will make it more semantically right order. Because when Google or the Yandex searching engines like this are indexing your website, it will look to the first. It will not look to the view of your website. It will look to your website the structure and the using of the proper text for the proper spatial purposes. For example, as I have said, you can write it by divs and with the help of the, for example, we take header, but it will give more rating to the website that have used the header in proper order, but it will give the lower score to the website that uses only the div text. So here's the text that you can play around. Here is the header, nav, main, footer, section, aside, and as I have mentioned, all the navigation information will appear on the top of your website. Will go to the header tag, and the navigation elements and some kind of anchor text links will appear in the nav tag. Main information of your website will go to the main tag, and the other context information and this extra links of your website can go to the footer, and for some kind of menus that appear on the side of your website will go to the aside tag, and you can also divide your main content into some kind of pieces like sections with the help of the section tag. So figure, video, audio. Also, here there are special texts like article, figure, video, and audio. They are used. They have the special purpose. For example, with the help of the audio tag, you can add some kind of audio file to your web page, or you can add some kind of video to your web page. I can show it now without any problem. For example, bunny video. No, bunny video. Fun player test. We can write the video tag here now and give source for video element. We can take the link to the video, Big Bug Bunny. All of the video players are tested with the help of this how to say video. I think there is the no. Also, we should add another attribute controls in order to make our video tag work. As you can see, with the help of the video tag, we have started some kind of video in our web page. Also, like this, you can add some kind of audio files to your web page. It will change only the tag name, audio, and the source. You can source some kind of external MP3 file or the WAV file, and so on. We will leave it like this with a big black bunny. Yes, it's working still. There's some special text with like time canvas source. You can read it later about them later, but the next thing will be about the structure and the flow of our website. Can we guys take some break now? Anna, can you hear me?
Sure.
Yes.
For 10 minutes.
5 or 10 minutes.
Thank you.
So you are sharing your screen.
I think we can start now. We can continue. So, guys, can you see my screen still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I think there was enough talk, enough about the talking. I think I should practice. I should continue with some practical codes because as you are seeing, I'm hesitating in my with my English. I have a problem with my English. Also, I had a B2 level, and I hope that you are not laughing at me. So we can use that with the text that we wrote, and we can make some kind of web page with all of them. We can start now. I think it's still recording, and with the help of the text that we describe it, we can make some kind of web page, and this web page structure later during and later I will explain it in more detail. Now I will write by describing what I'm doing. Firstly, I will open the header tag, and in header tag we can use the UL or unordered list, and also in our we can create the list elements. In list elements there would be some links. For example, I'm writing here's the symbol, and it will be home, and I will copy and paste this 5 times. Home. In more sites, here's the about, products, shop, and contacts, for example. And the next thing would be the main tag. In main tag, we can write the section, article tag. In with the article tag, we will have also a site, right? And also in the bottom we'll have the footer tag, where also there will be the three columns. With the help of the div we will do that, and also we can write some links here. I will, how to say, copy all of the links here and put them in first div. I will copy this div and paste it. We can write here some information. With lorem ipsum. Also, in a site there can be some kind of also link text p lorem ipsum $sit emet. We will copy and paste all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we can put special HR tag in order to divide all of them. So it's more easy to copy and paste. Here our web page, it appears something. It appears that here is no kind of styles and the CSS, and we will make it work and look more beautiful with our cascading style sheets. For example, we will make our header look in different color. Header, for example, my screen is not showing.
Yeah, sharing is off, I think. It's back.
Okay, thank you. So we wrote header tag, and we will give it background color property in order to paint it to gray, for example. And all of our header will become in gray color. And the next thing is to and the next thing is here to, as you can see, there are some gaps between the browser viewport and in our header text. In order to see default colors of our web page, we can use the developer tools. And if you go to the body, and here you can see some kind of gap property, margin 8 pixels. I can delete all of them with help of body tag and body tag, and set margin gap for 0 pixels, and it will go. And also I can add here li and ul in order to make them without any kind of gaps, inner and outer gaps. Yep. Padding 0. So here it is. As you can see, here is it, and in our main there are mainly two sections, article and aside. We will make them appear in next to each other with the help of special properties in cascading style sheets, like article main. We will use some kind of display property, and we will give some flex value in order to appear them one next to each other. Also, we can paint the main background color, let it be beige, and also article would be background color more lighter color, dark gray. Aside here would be background color dark khaki. Footer would be in background color dark turquoise. So as you are seeing, did I wrote footer with 3 O's? I wrote that. Here you can see the structure of our website, and with the special colors you can make it more beautiful. But now as you can see here, they are having the special colors and appearing next to each other, and the next our work will them to look more beautiful. But before I will continue, I will explain what I'm writing in cascading style sheets. So as I have described before, there is a special text, and in order to give some styles to the special text, we use here special selectors. By saying selectors, I mean you can take the name of the tag, and with the help of the CSS syntax and curly braces, between the curly braces you can write the special styling properties like inner and outer inner and outer gaps of the element. For example, margin is the outer gap for the element, and the padding is the inner gap for the element. And also background color stands for the painting the background of the element. So like this. Here if we want to, for example, paint the main, we get the selector main special special name of the tag and put the curly braces here. Curly braces, and between the curly braces we will write some kind of properties, and it will change our style in our web page. Also, it says that the body and the list items and the unordered lists, inner and outer gaps should be the 0 pixels. Also, we can how to say, add some kind of special gaps here with another selectors. We till this time we selected our HTML elements with the help of the tag names, and the next thing would be about the classes. So we can write here the class name, class name bar the class. It groups some kind of elements, and with the help of that we can take that HTML element and give it the special styles. Class, we will say the, for example, header link list. We are writing like this, and we can write it like this here, but it shows some kind of error that we do not have this kind of tag, and when we are using class names we should put the dot in the beginning of our selector. So we can still write the display flex property here. So as you can see, here is the they are appeared next to each other, but the bullet points, we have still bullet points here. We can write it like this here, UL, and the list style type none, in order to delete all the bullet points here. So as you can see, there is no kind of bullet points here, and we will add the inner gap to our list. Padding, for example, 20 pixels. Here it is. And in order to select all the elements in the header linked lists list items, we can add one space here and write the tag name in order to add some inner gap, inner padding for that element also. Yes, it appeared like this. We will later work with it too. LI, A, and in order to delete underlines of the menu elements, we can use special property text decoration done, and it will become here without the lines. We can change the color to white, color white, font size 20 pixels, and also font weight. It will make all of our text bolder like this. By repeating this kind of actions, we can still continue our making beautiful layout, and I think you will be able to continue my work with the help of the video and this presentation files. So we will come back to theoretical knowledge as I have wrote and show you and described it before. Here's the header tags, that appears on the bottom, on the top of our page, and the next thing is appeared as the navigation bar, and all of them are counted, can be counted as the header. And the next thing, as I said here, main information of our web page included in main tag, and the main tag can include in itself the section, article, and aside text, and all of the extra information can appear on the bottom of our page with the help of the footer tag. So I wrote all of them to you in my browser. And the next thing that we should describe about are about the inline elements, inline text and inline elements. So we will continue with index2.html. We can do some magic with exclamation mark, and we can write the elements here and continue our work. So as I have said before, there are two types of text, paired and unpaired. Also by styles, they are also divided into two, like inline elements and the block elements. I will describe, firstly I will show, and then I will describe what are they stand for. For example, here I will write the RS school lesson 1, and the next thing will be paragraph lorem, and the next thing here would be some span element. CSS and HTML basics. I will give class names for all of the elements: heading, class paragraph, and the class in L. I will connect my CSS file with the help of the link tag, and in the bottom I will continue to write. As you are seeing, I have connected one CSS file to two HTML files. You can do that also, but if you wish, you can open new. You can create the new file and continue like this with the new file. I think I should show that main2.css. Here we'll change the name of our CSS file, and we will write heading, and the paragraph. We select the paragraph element, and next we will select the in L class name. We will give the special colors: background color deep pink, background color deep sky blue, background color dim gray. Index, we will open it. Here it is. As you are seeing, the first element, the first element's width is the equal to the width of our web browser. When you change the width of our web browser, it also changes, and the second element, paragraph elements width, also equal to the browser's width, but span elements width is not equal to the width of our browser, because elements described on the top of our web page are called block elements, and the first rule of block elements is that block elements will always be equal to the how to say covering elements with. For example, our covering element here, we can see it here. Our covering element would be the body, and the h1 elements width is equal to the body's width, and the spans paragraph text width also equal to the body's width, but the span width is equal to the width of its content. Here's the here content ends and the block ends too. So first type of the elements is the block elements, and the next thing is the inline elements. As I have said, the rule is firstly about the width, and the next thing would be about the giving some gaps for elements. I think you will learn it later. Here you can see what kind of elements are inline and what kind of elements are block. Our anchor tag that creates the special links also is the inline tag, and the B, I, label, span, all of them are inline elements, and their width are equal to the width of their content. So you can change their how to say this display property. This is called the display property. Heading and the paragraph text default display property are equal to block, but the span elements default display property is equal to display inline. It's still the inline element, but by changing the inline element to block, we also can make the span element to become the block element, and also span elements width have become equal to the width of the browser. So also we can change the display property of our heading element to inline in order to make it width equal to the content width, like this. Here's another things that I should mention here, that inline elements cannot take the outer gap property like margin. For example, if I want to take the give the outer gap, for example, margin 40 pixels, it will not take the margin element from the bottom and the top of the element, but still we have the gap from the left and the right side. If we take if we give it the block display property, we have the outer gaps from all of the sides of the block. Also, we can give the inner gap 40 pixels also. Here it is. It can take the padding property. If we change it to back to inline, it's still having the left and the right margin, but do not have the top, bottom margin styles and the padding styles also. We cannot give the padding styles to inline elements too, but there is no problem with the block elements. It was the second difference between the block and the inline elements here. So Next thing that we should mention here that to inline elements we cannot give the height and the width property. For example, display inline, it appeared with the width of its content. We can give it 200 pixels with 200 pixels. We expect this element to become square element, but still there is no change. We can see that here is the height and the width element in our developer tools, but as I have said, inline elements cannot take the height and the width property. But if we change its property to block, it can take. Here's the square element. So also there is the inline block display property where that it's take the best points of block elements and inline elements. As you are seeing that it can take height and width property, but if we delete the height and the width, it will become equal to the width of its content. Inline block element can take the margins and the paddings and height and width, but by default, its default width will be equal to width of its content. So HTML validation, I think we should not talk about this here. And the next thing we should talk about this here. HTML validation, when you write some kind of HTML code, here's the special site for it. W3C, and you can find it on the web. W3C HTML validator. You can validate, how to say, check your website's content, website's code, that it's correct or not. We can validate our HTML code by direct input. If I wrote this HTML properly, it will show no errors. We can check it with this button. So here's the alert that everything is okay. But if I, for example, give the height, for example, 30 pixels and the width 50 pixels here, and check, it will show error because attribute height is not allowed in H1 element, and also width attribute is not allowed in H1 element. You can validate all of your HTML code that you are writing wrong or correct by accessing this validator.w3.org. So the next thing is about the CSS syntax, and the CSS syntax, as I have described before, the first thing that comes is the selector. Selectors stands for taking some kind of grouped elements. For example, you can group all of the P elements and give the first selector as a element name. Here in the example, it's a P tag, and the next thing you should open the curly braces. In curly braces, you can write the special properties, and here's the key value pairs. And first thing is the property, what kind of style you want to change. You can just describe it. You should describe it first, and the next thing after the two dots, you can give it a value. So CSS syntax, as you have seen, here you can take all the H1 elements, all the H2 elements, then like this you can change their styles. So simple selectors. So you can take all of the elements by the special symbol, special star symbol in your CSS file, and apply same styles for all of the elements in your HTML document. It's the most simple element in CSS. For example, here we can go to top and select all the elements and change color of them to blue, for example, blue. And it applies blue color to all the elements in our HTML. We talked about the tag name selector that we are using. For example, we have used the body in order to get rid of the default values margin and padding with the help of the body. And here you can take all the divs or all the H1s, or the paragraph elements. But the next thing would be, as I have described it, if you have, for example, 3 H1 elements, arrays, for example, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. And if you describe all of them and apply the blue color to H1 element, all of them will become blue. But you don't want like this. You want first element to be the blue, but the next 2 elements to be the red. For that purpose, you can group this element by giving it a class name. For example, header, heading red, and the next thing is also like this. You grouped 2 elements by a similar class name, and you can select heading red element and give it a color of red. As you are seeing that class names priority is higher than the tag name selector, and it overwrites the blue color. It overwrites the blue color. As here you can see that. I think it should become bigger. Color blue overwrites by or written by color red. So we can copy paste all of it, and here we can see that a lot of red headings, but you want only one element to be the, for example, green. You can also do like this, heading green, color green. It have changed. Also, you can give this class to another element. It also become green, but you don't. You want to select only one element. For example, you can give it a class name, but there is also one special attribute called ID. By ID, you can give a, how to say, unique value for only this element. You cannot reuse ID values. You can use it only one time. For example, heading yellow. It also have the class name heading red, but we can write it like here. yellow, but it will not work. No, nothing is changed because we do not have the heading yellow class name. So it shows that the class name should be heading yellow. It was the ID, and with ID we do not use dots, we use dash symbol, and our element will become how to say, yellow. Here I should also mention that as I said, it should be unique. If we validate our HTML code here, it should show error because we have reused the IDs. It's showing that there is a duplicate ID yellow heading yellow, and it also shows that the warning heading yellow. So it was about the IDs and the selectors. I think we should not talk about the we should talk about the priority. As you have seen, we can give styles to all elements. Color gray. We can write here paragraph tag, lorem. Here, all elements should become gray, but it didn't become. Why? Because the lowest priority given to the star selector and the next priority given to the tag selector, all of the elements that do not have the special class name and the special styles will become blue in blue color. In next priority, we have the class names. All of the elements that have the similar element, similar class name heading red will become not the gray, not the blue, as they have the higher priority will become red. But the most priority is the biggest priority is given to the ID elements, and the elements that have a ID with the heading yellow value will become the yellow elements. But as I have said that we should use the ID elements only one more time. Why it has become why 3 elements has become yellow? It's because how to say, browser do not show errors and apply all the necessary necessary styles to our tags, but later when you are working with JavaScript you will work more with IDs, and when you write more than one ID to different elements, it will show the error and you cannot use the one more ID more than one time. But in CSS it can work. It applies the styles. So first priority is given, for example, to stars. No, just a second. First priority, lowest priority is given to star element, and the next priority given to the tag, not element, selector, tag selector, and the next thing is class name selector, and the last thing is ID selector. So I think that it is. If you guys have questions, you can ask me one by one. It's the end of our lesson.
Everything is clear, but I have a question. Will you upload this code along with presentation?
Do you need codes? If you need, I will upload.
It would be good.
Okay, I will upload then.
Thank you.
I have a question. Will we have homework about this?
I think Anna will give some information about the homeworks, but there will be special lesson for the testing your HTML and the CSS knowledge. Yes, I will also upload this presentation. I will upload myself also and give the link to my colleague's presentation too.
Okay.
Okay.
So guys, questions?
No.
I think in the next week there will be tests, guys, and also if you have some feedback for me, please write it in Discord. I will later check the Discord for the feedback because as you have seen, I have some hesitation about the lesson, and during the lesson period, I cannot concentrate and talk properly in English. Sorry for that. If I have wasted your time, I'm sorry for that. If you got some kind of knowledge from me, I'm also glad for this. So guys, thank you also. And
Thank you.
do we have Anna here?